All right, then. Good morning, folks. We are here. And yet again, my white balance has gone immediately to hell as soon as I go live.
It happens.
Hey. Let's try that. Yeah, something has changed with the lighting down here, and I can't figure out what it is, but oh well. No. Yeah. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. 1 year.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
It's a year since our first session.
Yeah.
So, we're being hosted by Open Legend RPG.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. That is very cool. All right. So, yeah. So,
now we're going to play some Open Legend RPG, so that's convenient.
It is. It is. It's almost like it was intended that way. So I don't know about you folks, but I mean, as a GM, I sit down and I work out, campaign arc, and I'm usually, just because of the way I do things, I usually sort of work in about a 2 to 3 year time scale. But I don't think I actually ever believe it's going to get there. So the idea we've hit the 1 year mark is absolutely stunning to me.
Mm.
With everything we've been through.
We did it.
2 channel changes, standing up our own channel, and yeah.
Bam.
So here.
And we're across countries, across the world.
I'm just going to say, and 2020 has not been the easiest of years. Let's just be straight about that.
Man, we started at the bottom, now we're here.
Michelle, you're a lot quieter than the rest of us.
Then we get back to the bottom.
It's the usual problem. Can I... It's the mic.
Never really tell who's at the bottom and who's at the top, really.
Don't go there, really. No, it's the snowball microphone for some reason, and it will not let me adjust the audio input up. So yeah.
As long as you hang out near your mic, I think it will balance things out.
I'll just have to lean forward dramatically the whole time. So yeah.
That works. Dramatic Michelle.
Yeah. The Star Wars campaign last night, I'm part of. I was asked to do I do stand in GMing for them from time to time, so I was asked to play the audio for a vaguely Caribbean, a space Caribbean senator. And the only descriptions I had for him was a picture of this incredibly handsome fellow with long dreads, flowing white robes, glowing light around him, and, deep methodical voice. It's like, what the hell do you do with that? There's just so many ways to stereotype this which will be offensive, and there's not nearly enough information to go on.
Just use your own accent and then describe the accent so they know what it is. Exactly. Problem solved.
Yeah. But it was just like, okay. I can tell someone who doesn't really do voice acting wrote this script.
Mm-hmm.
You can click advanced and actually positive gain. Well, there's a fancy idea. Thank you. Just 1 second here. The catch is for everyone's sanity is we're actually trapping all of the audio through Zoom. And so the issue is that Zoom is downgrading this microphone for some reason, because otherwise what I found is you hear me through my mic and then you hear me again through the Zoom audio. So I've got my local audio.
Can you turn off your local audio and leave?
The point is I don't have local audio. All I'm doing so it's Zoom is not being very loud for me is what the catch is, and I haven't been able to figure out how to turn it up. So yeah, it's a quirk of being the host, a Zoom participant, but the host streamer is the way the gear gets set up. I'm actually looking at spending a ridiculous amount of money on getting a wave mic just so that I can fix the problem. So yeah, but all that aside, so let's get going. Happy birthday to us, as I said. But Lucas, can you give us a recap of events as you recall them?
Oh, okay. So, well, we are in the middle of a feisty battle. From memory, the reason we are here is because the Ramiki, the opera singer, finished her concert. I did try to stop her, and
but the show must go on.
That the show must go on, and in rationalization of the event, our job was to protect her. And I was interpreting that as protecting her from herself. Anyway, the show went on, big explosions happened, everyone was offended, and now I got poisoned from a letter that was intended for the opera singer that said, "You're dead," and yes, then that made me feel a little queasy. We wrote a
You're dead. That made me feel a little queasy.
I like that you phrased that in a way that made them sound connected. I tried to protect her from herself. Everyone got offended, so I got poisoned.
yes.
It's like,
That's look. Not gonna lie, Lucas's train of thought may have come to that conclusion.
I'm not surprised by that.
We ran away stealthily. We were trying to get out of there as fast as possible because, well, if a letter was intended for me, then who knows what will actually come our way for Ramiki. And then it wasn't intended for me, it was intended for her. I got the letter, but anyway. But we were, Alexandria and I shared a horse. That was interesting. And Chevalier and Ramiki shared a horse. That was interesting, because how did we find a horse that was large enough to fit Chevalier? That was a rather splendid surprise to find in such a small town as this. And what else? We came across a number of bandits. They stopped us, but Alexandria and I looked like fucking legends as we leapt over everybody. We tried to make them stop. I tried to what would you say?
Give up?
One of them ransom in order to demoralize them, but then Alexandria just whipped back ahead and screamed at them. So that seemed to do the job. And then out of nowhere, a Molotov cocktail was thrown at us, and then demonic hands started clawing out of the ground through a giant portal to some other dimension that we've never seen before.
Right.
How was
by the way, it is not actually out of the ground. It is actually standing up out of thin air, which is probably...
Okay.
Literally, it's...
Great.
Just from...
okay, because I remember the ground bubbling.
Oh, yes, and that's because of the potion, the demonic Molotov cocktail or whatever the hell it was. Yeah, no, that's
a whole other thing.
And making the ground go ick. But no, the portal opening is literally like something reaching, like, invisible, reaching around for a wall you cannot see in, Doom mime fashion and pulling the air open.
Okay.
Doom mime. Yeah, just keep that in mind.
It's doing a Here's Johnny to the sky.
Amazing. But that's my recollection of most of it. There was a lot more that happened, but everybody else can fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Jasper, why don't you fill in some of those gasps for your brother?
Well, as I remember it, the opera went off without a hitch, and our escape was made without a hitch, and we're just outside the temple safe house place that Ramiki told us to get her to, and we're about to walk indoors peacefully once we deal with this giant demon tearing a rift through the space-time continuum and Oni masked assassin. So everything's going without a hitch.
I think you've defined
hitch.
I'm just gonna say, your definition of hitch is awfully wide. Chevalier, you seem to have thoughts on this.
Define without. Define without.
Need to find hit.
You're using some words I'm not sure you're using them correctly.
You keep on using that word. I don't think that's what you think it means. Chevalier, perhaps you should supply some definitions or clarifications.
So, without a hitch is a broad term. Completed and nothing went wrong within the show. Arguably, equally arguably, the entire second act was done entirely differently and no one really knew what was going to happen. Ramiki was coy with information, which was something we had asked her not to do at the very beginning so that we could do our job. I was less than impressed. But I went through. Ultimately, it turned out the message she was presenting in terms of the history of the fire was actually not that bad, except that it was going to cause a riot.
Details.
But it could definitely have been worse. I was worried she was pushing one side and was going to actively antagonize people to make it much worse and have it spill out from the theater. But it just sort of started a fight, which was obviously going to be the result. Someone did deliver a letter claiming that it was from the governor, though I doubt that is true. Fortunately, we were able to determine that it was a trap without any long-term effects. Yeah, I said long-term, buddy. I see you reacting there.
Look, trauma can come back.
You were poisoned for 6 seconds. Suck it up.
Those 6 seconds.
Oh, like an
God for life.
But we were able, with the help of Jasper, having obtained some horses, to make a good, put some distance between ourselves and the theatre. Unfortunately, the group, one of the groups, probably the group we were originally concerned about, had correctly guessed how we would try to get and where we would go and how we would get there, and had tried to set up a trap, which we were fortunate to avoid. Handling a gang of thugs is not something we were going to struggle with. But things took a turn, obviously, with magical bombs summoning creatures from beyond. I'm beginning to get concerned. I might have to start trying.
I might have to start trying. Alexandre, your thoughts, ruminations, and any resulting panics of your recap of events.
Panic? No.
No? Okay.
La Chanson told me not to stop Ramiki singing the fourth song, so I did not stop her from singing the fourth song. There was a riot, which, good. Good for them. And so we had to leave very quickly, and Lucas is acting like a baby, and I don't know why. Keeps acting like, oh, I'm hurt, but he's not saying anything. I don't know why he's saying it or why he's doing it. So, stop acting like a baby. And then I asked La Chanson for help, and well, at first the bandits were going to run away. And then I think the song might have gone a little bit too far. Maybe. I don't know if it was me or not. But now the ground is open and there is something crawling out of it. But Ramiki helped, so...
How bad could it be?
Out of curiosity, which part do you think was the song? Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, because you could. That's entirely a possibility. But which part? Which part specifically was making Alexandra be like, "Is that me? Did I do that?"
Well, the intention was to, make them afraid of me. So
Yeah.
I want them to run away.
Yeah.
So, I just asked for help.
Summoning demons. That'll definitely make him run away.
Look,
I was more like, I was talking like, is the Oni face guy who's like, did the song send that guy, or is it like demon through space?
oh, I didn't see that guy.
Right. So it's the demon clawing its way through the air. Is you're like going, did I? Is that what you're like? Is that me?
Well,
Cool.
there's no one else there.
No, like, I'm concerned.
Oh, so am I.
My
A
concern
little
isn't that you're thinking that. My concern is that you might be right.
This huge troubled
It's like,
claws.
it's like, part of it because it's like, I need them to run away. I'm going to use fear. That wasn't good enough. Let's send it. Don't worry, I got a guy. I got a guy. Yeah, it's like, oh,
I can be pretty scary sometimes.
this song sends a roadie.
Yes.
I think we've all buried the lead that Ramiki kind of joined in with you when you did your
Ramiki help.
PS song,
Yes.
your Banshee wail.
Yes.
Yes.
She harmonized.
Well, in fact, what I described was they were actually moving in perfect sync.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
There's no way Ramiki
So
knew what it was Alexandria was going to do, and yet the two of them, even down to how they turned their heads and pulled their cowls back, was like, synchronized. It was synchronized dance. That's probably of concern for those of you who missed that detail.
It's like, wait,
not me. Not concerning.
Is Ramiki Alexandre? Have we seen them together at the same time?
Yes, just
Do
now.
I have
Oh, wait, right now.
Maybe I have a twin. Maybe it's time.
Yes, her name's Leia. And
Do I have to kiss her?
it's up to you.
You don't have to.
Yes.
Rating.
Yes, you have to kiss her.
Yeah.
All right.
We've all fallen to silence now. What
I know.
now? What
and
happens
I'm
now?
Like, we're all like in
We've done that. Now we have to
anticipation,
do the thing where we actually have
No.
to face the thing.
No, you actually have to
crawling its
know
way
what it
through the
is.
sky.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Wow.
It has to be afraid of me, whatever it is, right? That's how that works.
no, that's not how that works.
No.
Can it be how that works?
Now that you mentioned it, no.
No.
Right then.
But you can make it afraid of you.
Well,
No.
You can try.
is it an immediate response or is it an ongoing effect?
As far as I know, once you've detonated your fear bomb, as it were, they
have to
it is
re-
a bane. And
Yes.
so they remain
Right.
affected by the bane until such time as they either fail 3 times, they either succeed once in 3 tries, or a minute goes by.
Fear is slightly different.
Yeah?
Because
Okay.
because the bane prevents the target from thinking clearly. So while most banes last until the target actively attempts to resist them, this bane prevents the target from thinking clearly. However, the target's logical mind fights to gain control. As such, in the end of each of its turns, you can you make a resist roll. It's a free action to break free of the effect, and if you succeed,
You're immune to
you're
all
immune
of subsequent
to subsequent
attempts.
attempts for the next hour.
Yes. But
So it's still an end of the roll, end of turn.
yeah.
But you don't have to like make an active.
Resist.
I'm making a resist.
But yeah,
action.
But it's also not an ongoing effect. It's not an aura.
No,
it's just
it goes off
and
once. Everyone
discreet.
everyone gets hit by the bane, and then they basically individually sort the bane out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this
By-
thing
by point of
came
being able to
out
make it afraid
after
is
the
you just-
bane.
Yes.
Yeah. But you can
Yeah.
recast
timing.
it.
Good,
You can just
good,
cast
good
it
timing,
again.
creepy thing.
All right.
I could, but if the rest of them stop being afraid of me, then what happens?
I giggle enough.
Anyway, let's
Just 1 second.
not give Michelle ideas.
Too late.
Oh no.
Yes.
I don't think you have to maintain it, so it shouldn't matter. Should it?
I have to maintain it as a spell. It has to, like, if I don't maintain it, it doesn't remain as an effect. If I cast something else, this one drops. It's not
Is that
that kind of discrete. It's discrete on who it's cast at, but it's not discrete on, as far as I can tell. It's discrete based on who it's... No, I don't. Great Moustache, thank you for solving my life.
You've done your
you
thing.
don't-
I've done it, so I'll just do it again.
Yeah.
Everyone will be afraid of me.
Like if you have to pay upkeep to keep it going, then
Yeah.
that's the thing. You have to spend concentration to do it. But
Right.
that fear is one of those.
All shall fear me and despair.
Yeah, I mean,
I adore that quote. I really do. Just give me 1 moment here. I need to fix a little detail.
I see what you're doing.
Yes, because
you little lid.
I'm just going to say, because I forgot to do this last session, so I'm doing it now. There we go. And there we go, so everyone can actually see that.
Well, that's
So legend points are up on the screen now, and I'll just copy that over for the when we get to the or duplicate that when we get to if we need the other screen. So so group has got 2 collectively, and Alexandria's got 1 specifically. As a reminder, don't forget, Open Legends is one of those systems which actively rewards you for playing your flaws. You earn legend points anytime you say, I'm intentionally going to play suboptimally by using this flaw here. You don't have to use that phrasing, but just make it obvious what it is you're doing, and you get a legend point. So
That's what I did at the end of last
Yeah, exactly.
session.
It's just that a lot of systems actively discourage fishing for biscuits, right? Whereas this system straight up tells you, no, you're supposed to. You will need the biscuits.
I do like biscuits.
Yes, well, they're good. So
depends on flavor.
all right.
Nah.
So what you're looking at. So as I say, so the last bit was, like I say, Spider only really being able to follow the smoking blue-green arc of vapor up to where it was thrown from, seeing the Oni-masked ninja clearly in the, haha, I've just thrown this pose. And the vial itself was this ornate piece of crystal and brass and silver that when it hits the ground just smashes. And a remarkably disproportionate amount of liquid splashes out and ripples outwards, clearly under some sort of magical effect. It, as well, is this purple-green, noxious mixture. And noxious is visually noxious, as opposed to any particular smell or sensation. It is disturbing to look at this effect as it pours out across the surface, splashing over your feet and stuff, pooling around you in eddies, and continuing to ripple outwards to an area probably 40 feet, or 12, 15 meters across, somewhere in that window. Like I said, there's no way it fit in that little 1 liter fancy container. And where it hits the edge, it is actively bubbling and fizzing with these little vesperous trails of this exact same purple and green vapor.
like, does it hurt us to stand in it?
No, it's just, like I say, visually, it is something which is ringing soul-level alarm bells under the category of this is honking wrong, should not be happening. Somebody in my past has seen this before and was suitably terrified. It's that kind of a visceral reaction that, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is, but somehow I know this is bad. And that is, as I say, when this sort of seam splits in the air right directly above the broken remnants of the vial, and what looked like the ends of claws come through the seam in the air and pull that seam asunder to this roughly jagged outline tear in the air itself. And that tear is this blackness. It is a blackness deeper and more inky than a moonless night. Little curls of frost emanate around from the edge, bespeaking the fact that whatever that is, wherever it goes, is barking cold. And that's when the thing from the past walks out. everyone can get to make a learning roll with advantage. Jasper will get double advantage.
Okay. Advantage 1 on a learning roll.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, here we go.
Whoop! 12.
16.
16.
Go advantage 1, learning roll.
E4's exploding make me happy.
Boy. So my D20 was a 19. Then I got a 6.
Okay.
I only keep the highest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Advantage the way
And
advantage
then
works, you take the best
Explosion was a 5, so that's 11 for exactly 30.
for exactly 30. All right, that's
11.
11. All right. So the target number was a 15. It's been a while. So we'll start out. So I find it absolutely fascinating. Alexandria, I believe, made the roll. Yes, the roll of 16.
16.
So I think it's fascinating that Alexandria and Jasper both have a oh moment, while the other two are going, this is a problem. These two are going, oh dear. Alexandria, you've seen one of these things before, a long time ago in a barn. It's a werekin.
Oh.
It looks like it doesn't quite match the way you recall it, but it's definitely a werekin that's coming out of that portal. Jasper, that's not a werekin. That's a werekin that's been hanging out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what werekin looks like. That's not it.
This is like 3 times the size of werekin.
It's slightly bigger than a werekin, but it's ripped. I mean, that's the thing about werekin is they're cheap, expendable infantry. They are essentially supernatural cockroaches. I suppose is the best way. You just they're zerglings to borrow pop culture. They're literally the problem.
They're all dog soldiers.
Exactly. You just throw they're cheap to make. You throw 100 of them at a 10 person problem, and who cares? No. This one here. This is a Lucas. I hope that sort of sharp moment. And then the second one steps out.
Someone get me that werekin, a cup of that werekin's piss. I got that thing tested. Eating.
And then the third one steps out.
Third one.
Third one. Yes, that would be the one after the second one that you were all giggling.
Oh. Yes. Good times. Good times they were.
So
good times they were, kin.
So Lucas and Chevalier, I mean, so as a reminder, werekin are best described as hunched over, deformed proto-werewolves. They're kind of goblinoid in their stance. Invariably, one arm isn't quite as long as the other one. The claws are always odd sizes. The teeth are always jagged and out of line. There's always an ear which doesn't quite match the other ear. The eyes are almost invariably different colors. They're literally misshapen monstrosities. And they're absolutely vicious monsters. They're they're sufficiently vicious and unpredictable that they're creations, of course, of the Burning Lash. They were trying to create cheap infantry and decided they were too much of a pain in the ass to keep. They were just
Sorry to interrupt, but from memory, I mean, this is great that it was exactly a year ago that we started playing.
Yes.
Because this is a throwback. But from memory, they're a designed thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, they are if you will, they are a weapons program instituted a generation ago by the Burning Lash, who concluded they were too much of a pain in the ass to actually use. They're just as liable to eat their handler as actually eat the thing that you point them at, depending on the mood they're in. They're prone to, they're incredibly difficult to work with. And so the Burning Lash gave up on them. Now, as it works out, there's some people, I'm not saying Jasper, but some people that perhaps Jasper had met once upon a time thought them fascinating cage fight creatures, and every once would import them for underground brawl matches or things like that. So they're still apparently being bred or created or whatever it is you do with these things. But, because every once in a while a couple of them would show up in a cage on the docks down in Shining Capital, but usually under a box marked, kids' toys or something. Yeah, so...
Yeah, definitely not Jasper.
No, couldn't have possibly been Jasper. You clearly were thinking of a different spider. So, yeah.
Okay. Whose go is it?
How long does my aura last?
As long as you sustain it.
I believe the answer is concentration. I would need to double check. As an aura basically you have to perform the sustain action on it to keep it operational.
Can you cast 2 spells simultaneously?
I believe the answer as long as one of them doesn't require to be sustained.
As long as they're not the same. So, because bonus actions are a little bit different from like D&D.
Yeah.
In that there's a list of things that are bonus actions, and basically you can do them as many as you want. You just can't do them twice.
Yeah.
Right.
So if something is a sustained persist, you can only have one of them on the go because you can only do that once.
So I can sustain as a bonus, essentially.
Bonus action to sustain, main action to cast something new.
Right. So
fear not being sustained means it doesn't get in the way.
It means I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
So that means I could have held up the aura I had on what was it?
Ramiki.
Forced move.
Yeah.
On Ramiki. Yeah.
So,
good to know.
At this point, I think a reasonable thing to do. Right. So the street gang has been remarkably demoralized. And the 3 monster werekin things stroll in. So now I think it's time that they roll initiative because, battles and things like that.
I don't know that stroll is the right word.
They don't need, Michelle, they don't need to fight.
Well, you hear a voice from within the portal saying, destroy them all, leave nothing but ash. So you're thinking possibly they're actually here to fight.
Oh, I know I was happy about riots, but this is not what I meant.
Ash is a bit awkward. Ash is a bit on the nose.
I was about to say,
yeah.
A bit insensitive, that one.
Yeah, something tacky. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Just one sec. I want to put the come on now. Legend points. Add existing. Put the legend point thing up on the screen. But that's way too big. Let's zoop that down to here. Tuck it over in this corner. So everyone can see what the magic answer's in. And then now our magic werekin, it is an agility roll for their so they get 2d8.
Why does everyone want to kill me though?
Who said they're here for you? I mean,
leave nothing but ash is the problem, really.
Oh, yeah, it's that whole indiscriminate destruction thing.
Yeah.
I think kill them all by being inclusive.
So that's a natural 20 for their for the first dice of their initiative roll.
Okay.
Rude.
That's a 3.
Super rude.
And that's a 5. And then just because I've got another one of these cool dice. Oh yeah, there it is. And so that's another natural 20. So they're going somewhere north of.
They're going last week.
Yeah,
I'm gone. We've lost to Sam.
Yeah, drinking.
It's where is it? Here it is.
I was going to say. So the good news is we're not playing Cyberpunk, because this would be a disaster in Cyberpunk. So that is a 40, 56, 62, 65 for their initiative.
3 turns.
So who's going to roll?
So happy with my 38.
So who's going to outroll that? Can we?
No,
We've already rolled initiative.
I'm
There's
just-
adding
yeah,
to what we have.
You know what? I'm glad it's initiative.
I'm just going
Yeah.
to say, yeah.
Let them use all their exploding die on the initiative, and then from now on, it'll just be one.
They can't go more first.
But yeah,
I just,
can they?
I'm just, like,
Are there optional rules here?
I'm just gonna say, well, that's why I said it's just as well this is
Yeah.
this isn't cyberpunk, because in the original
Not doing like
cyberpunk rule,
feng shui or something.
well, for every 3 points of initiative, you can take another action. It just adds a negative to it, which means they would technically go something along the lines of 20 times before
Oh,
V got to move.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope. We're playing Open Legend here. They
Yeah.
go first once.
yeah, I
yeah, we were hosted by Open Legend, not Cyberpunk. It's,
Not playing Cyberpunk.
I see roles like that come up for things like initiative, and while it's fascinating to watch the dice go kaboom, it works out that it actually doesn't change much, which is good.
No,
No,
no, GM, that's not
Great
cool.
Moustache, that is a bad idea.
That's not cool. Don't do it to us. No.
Don't.
Mean.
Oh, you're new
Mean.
every 10. Oh.
Don't you develop the game while we're playing it. Not nice.
I mean, do it. Feel
We
free
are
to
play
play test.
test.
We're playing it, but like,
We'll happily play test, but please don't. No. No.
look, any rule you want to add that helps us.
Yeah.
No,
Then we will
no,
play
no.
test.
Has to go
Absolutely.
both
Let's go.
ways.
What?
How
No.
about we
Okay.
just
I
get
mean, and that is the beautiful thing about me about the dice cam is like it's like yeah no that's what happened and we all saw it, so I don't know what to tell you folks.
Yeah, no.
There's only points where it's like, I'm
very glad that wasn't on an attack.
yeah.
Me too.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Like, speaking of accidental death,
1 point of damage per overage, your guard 40 points of damage later, goodbye, inky smear on the ground. I mean,
what happens if you triple your health and damage? Well,
I like you all too much. I don't want that.
There's no instant death rules, but we're here now, so
yeah.
so I think oh wow, yeah.
Well, what are they going to do, Michelle?
Yeah.
Just 1 sec. I just want to actually make sure I've got them. Where can
It's okay. I know what they do.
Your own
They all
mouth,
stop and
like,
stand in
how
awe
can
of
they
the shrieking
do-
banshees.
They ask us for the directions to the pub.
how close are they to us? Like, what's how?
I'm going to say that
Where-
they're conveniently about 10 feet away. So
Convenient, but sure. It's not convenient at all.
which actually technically puts them much closer to the street gang, but by a little bit. Well, yes, much closer a little bit. That doesn't really work, does it? No, Michelle, you're a writer. You should know better than to say things like that. Yeah, they're marginally
First draft
closer
is
to the
fine.
street gang who are fleeing in terror. If the street gang wasn't fleeing in terror before, they're absolutely fleeing now, and they were fleeing in terror now before. So I think what I'm going to do is each of the Werekin are just literally going to make a let's see here. That would be, they are not the brightest critters in the bank. It's a 1d6 learning, 1d6 logic. They've actually been.
They attack each other.
Well, actually, the question is if they're going to say, "Ooh, look, fleeing things that we could murder first."
Fetch.
I'm just going to say so.
Prey drive. Do they chase the running things?
Well, yes, that's exactly it. So let's see what happens here. They have, in fact, been told what to hunt.
they have the scent, boys.
Okay, that's a 20, so they're actually not going to... I think... I'm going to say that one of them is going to, basically, for lack of a better way of putting it, oh, look, there's something to eat right there, and we'll just shred one of the gang members. The other two will move quite swiftly towards the group.
Yeah.
Are we all in the same place? Because
Yeah, well, you're... all sort of
Lucas
five.
and Alexandria was somewhere in the middle of
Yeah,
the
so,
gang, and the others were.
So, if you will, there's the rope, right? And the rope sort of demarcates one side of it, which is where,
Yes.
because Remiki and Chevalier's horse had stopped basically up against the rope. You folks had vaulted over it, landed on the other side
Yes.
of it, and then and Chevalier had basically dismounted and is effectively standing directly beside the horse that Alexandria is on, and then
I think it's
Lucas
Lucas.
had gone long bomb and landed at the feet of the gang leader, who was directing the fracas from well away from the rope, and so you're all sort of spread out. Coincidentally, whoever our mysterious Oni mask chap lobbed said canister so that it landed roughly in the middle of things. So coincidentally, the portal that these things are bubbling out of is about 10 feet from everyone.
Right.
So because I don't want to get into things like battle maps and stuff like that right now, we're just going to say arbitrarily, coincidentally 10 feet from everybody.
Yep.
So,
Me.
the first Werkin is just going to take a swipe. He's going to dive like a blur onto one of the fleeing gang members. And it's going to use Ferocious Leap, which is a D10 melee, and it has advantage 2 on that. Where's my D10s? Oh, there we are. So it uses its ability, Ferocious Leap. It's a 15, so it definitely hits the bad guy. That's a 4. And that's a 5, so it rolls a 20 to hit the gang member. The thug in question, Ferocious Leap, is Might versus Guard. So this thing basically covers about 15 feet of space in a blink, thump, as it dives onto this poor schlop. So it's a Might versus Guard attack. The Guard is a 12. So yeah, that's absolutely a hit. 20 versus 12, that's a difference of 8. So he drives this guy into the ground from behind. Basically one set of claws on each shoulder, face first into the ground. And that will wind up doing 8 points of damage to the guy as he slams into the ground with this thing sitting on his back, basically pinned to the ground. So I'm going to say that is. Oh yes, there's already one that was injured, so I'm just going to say he so he just writes he basically gets the smell of blood in his nose, whirls around, sees the fleeing thug, and just drives onto this guy, and there's just. Let's just say I think that there's going to be one of those moments where the camera is panning and winds up behind a horse, and what you get to see is the shadowed outline of a limb go flippity flippity flippity, but you don't actually get to see any details. And there's this horrid blood curdling scream which gets cut off. So he's done. Goodbye. I'd say we know you, but we hardly did. And then...
That's all right.
It wasn't while we did, so...
We didn't know his name, so it's fine.
No, absolutely. Wasn't a real person, didn't know his name.
Thuggius.
Thuggius the second. Thuggius the third, in fact.
Thuggius the third.
Right.
The non-Hampshire Thuggertons.
George Thuggius the third, Esquire.
We didn't have any family, hobbies, or dreams either.
Retirement was so long, was so far off.
Oh.
Like, wow.
One of them is going to leap at Chevalier. And again, it whirls around. You can see it actively, and it looks directly like a guided missile at Chevalier, and leaps. So what is Chevalier's guard, please?
Currently it is 21.
21. Okay, so it gets so again, it's using its Ferocious Leap action. And that's a D10 advantage 2.
Oh, this isn't good.
So I'll just roll. So a D10 advantage 2. Let's see what we get here.
I don't remember what my initiative was, but I'm very sure it was pretty low.
The initiative order as I have it is the Werekin at 60.
It's like
V at
6 or something.
38, the Street Gang at 27, Spider at 24, Lucas at 9, Alexandri at 8.
Sweet. Okay.
There is a suspicious omission from that list, Michelle, which is our
Spider.
only masked friend.
You are
Oh,
correct.
yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Like,
oh,
Fun
oh
answer.
dear.
oh.
I don't like it when that's a thing.
Okay, so that's a 23 with a possible open end. We'll see what happens. Okay, that roll is below a 10. And that is... Okay, so there's an open end on the table. We'll re-roll. We'll add another dice onto that.
That's higher than my guard,
Oops.
and I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I thought you might say. One sec here.
Explosion!
Tumbly dice off the table. Try that again. So that is a 25. 20. Okay, hang on. 20, that's a 30. So yeah, you get hit. So
It's not enough to make a bane, but that's a hit.
Just not enough to make a bane.
Yeah.
Just.
yeah, in
Just your god.
21.
21.
For now.
I'll go over for a bang.
So this thing piles onto you. So you're going to wind up taking 21. So what?
9.
Hang on a second. 39 points of damage as this thing plows into you. Toothed claws, sharp objects, hissing, screeching. And bluntly, if it just wasn't for the fact that you're just so damn massive, it would have taken you clean off your feet. And you are very aware of how hard you just got hit in terms of raw momentum. I think the other thing which is very obvious, there's no doubt in Chevalier's mind that these creatures are in some way magical. That just hit way too hard for the size of a critter.
Guys, I'm pretty sure that these large werewolf-esque creatures that came out of a portal in space are magic.
Yeah, I'm just going to say...
Huh?
In case you hadn't gotten the clues earlier, this is sort of the confirming note. And then the
I rolled an 11 before unlearning. These are street dogs to me.
Where did you grow up?
The second one rolls an 11 on its learning on its logic. So it's going to attack one of either Spider or Spider or Lucas.
I am on a rooftop very far away, so I think that will be quite difficult for it.
You know something, you're right.
Oops.
So it's going to hit Lucas. Yep.
Oh, that was easy.
No,
Lucas, who's already damaged.
yeah.
Go for the bleeding guy, the poison guy. It's fine.
He's not poisoned anymore. It's just.
He also doesn't have a leg, and he's like, yeah.
How
Yeah,
much
I mean, you,
I
at
wonder
least
if
you
we
got
can,
armor
like,
on, mate.
just guilt them. Like, oh, I see what you're beating up on,
Beating up on the Paralympics.
Oh.
There
I'm
we
just
go.
gonna say, excuse me, there are folks online who would tell you there's no such thing as disabled, it's just your conception. They are being
Yes.
respectful of your abilities and the fact that you've come here.
Yep. So attack me equally to everyone else, please. Thank
Exactly.
you.
No, the only, I'm just going to say they won't force you to climb badly designed stairs, but they will attack you as an equal. And so that's 2. Oh, I grabbed the wrong dice. I do that all the time, but that's a 2. It's not a 20.
You can
It's a 2.
keep that one if you want.
The thing about these metal dice, and I do adore them, they're so pretty, is they have an awful lot of momentum, and so they will just keep going. So that is a 9. I think the best roll of that's a 5, so that's 14. I'm pretty sure that's a miss, yes?
Yes. My guard is 21.
All right. So, again, this thing piles into you. It's just ripping and tearing at you. It's just unable to actually do any damage. There's probably a really disturbing sound of, the nails on chalkboard sound, but in this case it's, claws on plate armor, but similar tone. Yeah. So that's the 3 Werekin. And that brings us to Chevalier. V, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I've sort of managed to hold off the worst of this onslaught. So sort of a slight, because Ramiki's just behind me. Miss Soichi, if it is feasible, stay close enough that I can reach you to guard. If not, get as much distance as you can. And then shifting into Giantkin, he says, release combat restraints level 1.
Alexandria hears that.
At which point, all the ablative grayish fluid starts filling in all the weaker points, including some of it's like, what's the word when you're putting like filler into like a crack or something?
Crack filler.
In some part of its armor which got a bit clawed, is sort of getting filled in as well.
Yes.
Until it's still finally reinforced, and he's in that. And then I'm going to hit this Werkin that's sitting in front of me with an advantage of 1.
All right.
I'm rolling the right dice. I am. Yeah, okay. That's a 32.
A 32, yeah. You are targeting its guard, yes? Or
guard.
Guard. Its guard is 14.
Cool.
Bane.
That I don't know, maybe he just dies.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
So 32.
I
was just going to say 32 minus 15 would be 15. So then you're two more than that, 17. 1 more than that is 18. So you're going to do 18 points of damage.
Sure, why not? Just remembering what veins my weapon actually is good for. Okay.
So
we will add. I'm going to add stunned.
Stunned, sure. And how does that one work?
On its turn, they can only make either a major action, like either one major action or one move action or one minor action.
Yeah. Yes, and Great Mustache says, as you're not restricted to what's on your weapon, just Bane's accessed by the attribute you used.
I know. I just want to know which ones. I've got a slight buff, but good to clarify.
Yeah, that's very good. So yes, so crunch, you slam into this thing. It staggers backwards. Its eyes glassy. One of them looking one way, one of them looking the other. Fair enough. And that brings us to the street gang. On 27. So they are okay. Well, interestingly enough, I think the only person who doesn't have a Bane on them is the gang leader. So the gang leader is basically standing, quote, toe to toe with Lucas, and just saw. For lack of a better way of putting it, this wasn't what he was told to expect. I don't think he's getting paid enough for this. So I think what he's going to do is essentially want to disengage. So he's going to back up, keeping a guard, keeping his guard up, and will yell at Lucas, I'm leaving, not sticking around here for this, don't want to mess with you, talk to you later, have a good day, the pub down the street's really good, and he'll bolt. So I'll leave it entirely up to Lucas if you want to take a swing at him as he runs off.
No. I think this giant dog in front of me is I will quip a little coward as he leaves, but then I've got this thing that's been snarling at me that I've just fought off. At least put my shield up at the last minute. Has got my attention.
All right. So officially, the rest of the gang are all suffering from demoralized and fear. I think that even if they make their saving throws to shake off the fear effect, bluntly, what happened to poor Thuggius III is more than enough to convince them that, you know something? No. Pub down the street sounds really good right now. So they're just
that's way.
63 years away from retirement.
Yep. I think I'm just going to
So
remove
sad.
them from the initiative, and they're just fleeing for every alley they can manage. Screaming incoherently about, demon puppies, screamy sorceresses, and iron monsters. And I think that's
Demon puppies.
I think that's about as rational a discussion as they're willing to put forward at this moment. Which brings us to, so I think that brings us to Spider.
Yeah, well, Spider looks down at the thug who got torn apart after, because I shot him with a crossbow bolt, right?
Yeah.
And then
Hey, you took out one, didn't you?
No.
I almost did. He had
Almost.
2 health left and persistent damage on him.
That was Thuggius.
That was Thuggius, but
Yeah.
luckily Spider now no longer has to deal with that problem. Like in the sense of like that body is no longer on my hand.
The monster ate it. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
The problem with that guy is that he couldn't run as fast as the others, so that's why.
Yes,
Oh.
the Canadian bear discussion. I don't have to outrun the grizzly. I have to outrun you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm on a horse.
at this point, Spider re-levels the crossbow at eyeline height at the Oni masked individual on the rooftop opposite him. And he reaches for his box of bolts, but then instead of reaching into the main section, bumps a little lever on the side and a little secret compartment comes out, and he grabs a special bolt out, puts it in the crossbow. I'm going to make a Bane attack on Oni Mask Fellow. I am going to attempt to incapacitate him with a poison bolt.
All right then.
Oh.
Very good.
So I roll agility versus his toughness instead of his
versus
guard.
his toughness. Sure. His toughness is an 18, and he has Bane resistance 1 on that.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that he essentially gets his resist roll. Well, you actually roll at disadvantage 1, and then if he if he has to make a resistance later on, he rolls with advantage 1 to resist. Essentially, he is toughened against being baned with that attack.
Okay. So I get disadvantage 1 as well. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Oh yeah, here we go. Choose a Bane and gain these benefits. Is this a different thing? The only thing I can find is Bane resistance gain +5 to defense against the chosen Bane.
Bane resistance is a NPC thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right, this is not something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Advantage 1 is mechanically ±5, depending how it's going to get used.
I think isn't it against a specific Bane?
I think it's yes.
Versus that specific Bane attack.
Yes. Mustache just clarified. So yes. So he's effectively his armor. So yeah. So your target number goes up by 5. So you're attacking instead of 18 at 23, and then he gains advantage if you win, and he has to resist next round. He gains advantage 1 on resisting it. Thank you.
I see. So the way incapacitated is resisted slightly differently, but let's see how we go first.
Yeah.
So I need to ask the classic question: does he know that I'm there, basically?
What is your...
Is he caught off guard or otherwise unaware of my attack?
I tell you what. So let's do the obvious here. He has a 1d10 for his chance to notice you. He was somewhat occupied, so I will just give him the base 1d10. He doesn't get any special modifiers. Go ahead and roll your stealth.
Okay. 24, 27 plus 1, 28.
Okay, so he starts at a 17 and rolls a 3. So he's sitting on a 20. He doesn't know you're there. He hasn't seen you.
Okay, so that gives me another bit.
Taken the shot, it was possible he would have seen the poor Thuggius soak a bolt. But in this case, no, he doesn't know you're there.
I kind of just wish that had been my attack roll now, but here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I got to beat a 23.
Yes.
I have advantage 2 on this, though.
Fantastic.
17 and 2 3s is exactly 23.
All right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Meet you beat.
Meet you beat.
All right.
So he's actually turning around to move. And you basically catch him square into the under the arm as he's turning to skip off across the roofs, giggling like a lunatic. And he just ragdolls across the roof.
So then I'm gonna immediately run and leap across the roof inhumanly far to chase where he's going.
Sure. So I'm going to say that is going to be, for you to cross that gap, is going to be a heroic attempt. It's a good. You've got a target number 20.
Yep. So on that,
it's a street wide enough for a couple of carts plus a few people. It's not a small gap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So through I have the Great Leap feat, which is through extraordinary power or exceptional agility, you can jump much farther than the average creature. You can use your movement or agility score instead of your might score when determining how far you can jump. In addition, you gain advantage 1 per tier on action rolls to jump. Okay, cool. So it's another agility roll with advantage. What did you say I had to get?
Your target numbers are 20.
Cool. I got a 13. Spider jump. Oh
no! You know something? I think
Full
that's
spider.
If you have 10 feet of run, you get another advantage. All right.
Okay. Cool. If I roll a 6, we might be in business. Here we go. So at the moment it's the 5 on the d20 and then 2 4s. Mm-hmm. This was a 5, so only 14.
All right. So yeah, no, sorry, wrong. Just because I think it's hysterically funny, what's going to wind up happening is, the spider is going to wind up going, wah! And landing pretty much square on top of the combination of the stunned, the stunned and dazed Werkin and Chevalier.
Cool. Does then the ninja fellow roll off the roof and fall to the ground also?
You don't know. You can't see him.
That's. I was asking for a mechanical reason.
Okay, what is the mechanical reason?
It's not good. I'm same teaming myself here, but at power level 5, which is my max power level for incapacitated, the effect is broken by a moderate disruption, such as a firm shove, a kick, a glass of water, loud bang, or perhaps falling off a roof.
Gotta love the specificity of those examples they give.
Or perhaps. So I'm going to say that you don't know what just happened because you just landed on a very unhappy Werkin.
At least I landed on something soft.
Yes, exactly. The fur is very aromatic. Tee-hee point. So yeah. And that brings us to Lucas.
Save us. Save us all.
Right.
Save us all.
Well, I'm going to attack this guy that's in front of me. Got my longsword, got my shield out. I'm going to wail on him with my longsword.
No, you're going to sword.
See what
You
happens.
need a whale to wail on him.
Ooh, yeah, I pull out Ooh. I try to talk to him in Whaley.
You should leave now.
Where did you come from?
Did I do this?
Laugh, but in the last campaign I played with Drew, his favorite weapon of choice was a boat.
Oh my goodness, yes it was. Drop a boat on him.
This is a great story, actually.
Okay.
They found Oh, do you want to tell it, Drew? Because you might.
No.
What did you know about it?
Attack.
I'm just going to say, let's stay focused. We'll come back from the break.
Let's stay on this and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. What is there? I got.
Just before you consider, if you're not doing anything else, like if you're not moving or if you're not using a minor action, you could do a focus action and gain an advantage on the attack.
Oh yes, please.
So
It's a good thing to do then. So roll
Focus.
roll an extra whatever your
on
dice.
target.
Glad I did that one.
Okay, that's an explosion. Yeah.
I'm helping.
That was a 23.
23. And you are, so that's a might attack. Might versus toughness. Their toughness is 16.
Guard.
Against their guard.
Be guard.
God. Okay, guard is 14. It's even harder.
Even better.
Yep.
Great. Just one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go in with a nice stabby stab with the longsword. Yeah, I think that's all. That's my turn. Focused action is I put all of my effort into that.
Yes.
Even despite the fact that I just through the corner of my peripheral vision saw my brother fall from the sky.
All right. And
So-
how much damage did you say you did?
That would have been 9.
9 damage. Yeah. Okay, that's substantial. You noticed that. So he'll murder you
Yeah.
next round. That's fine.
I might have missed it. Did we say how Jasper handled the fall?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ungracefully.
Very good. As you were.
Carry on.
I'm just going to say, as opposed to rolling arbitrary falling damage, I'm just saying he just literally cattywumpuses onto right into the middle of you two's melee. Doesn't take any damage, but looks horrifically ungraceful and is pretty much laying on his back, looking up at you two who are battling over top of him. Who are now looking, both of you going, "What was that?"
The worst kind of damage. My pride.
Well, aren't you? Isn't that one of your flaws?
Quite literally.
1d8 pride damage.
Yeah.
Ouch.
All right, and that brings us to Alexandri.
Yep. Yep. So, how many dice am I rolling? If. Oh, actually. Oh, damn it. Okay. Sorry, but several questions. First question. How far away from each other is each member of this group right now?
We seem to be
Barring Chevalier and now Spider,
I'm going
is
to
everyone else...
so essentially imagine that the groups are essentially at 10-foot angles. It's a triangle with, you and Miki here, Lucas over here, Chevalier over there, so about 10 feet to his side.
Miki's directly behind me.
Yes.
Because
right, okay,
she and
so
I
yeah.
were still in the same bubble.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's
The force movement bubble.
if that's the case, then you two, so Chevalier, Ramiki, and Alexandre are all within a few feet of each other, a handful of feet of each other. And then off, I'm just going to say, with Lucas as well, because, plunging into the sky. And then off about 10 feet away is where Lucas is, because that's where the gang leader had been, and he's got one to fight as well. So, basically, the group is divided mostly by, Lucas is separated from the group by about a 10-foot span, is basically the answer. Everyone else is within 10 feet of each other easily.
Damn. Okay. I'm still gonna... wait. Sorry. Reading rules.
Can anyone else tell that we haven't done combat in a while?
Yeah. Well, it's something I've not used before. I'd like essentially...
Fun.
Yeah. Essentially what I was thinking was casting barrier, but taking disadvantage, but still casting it on every individual member of the group to make it a damaging barrier. But I can't do that because everyone is too close to everyone else and it will hurt everyone else.
From memory, I think barrier isn't like multi-target as in like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's multi-target in like it's an area. You have to pin. It's an area.
It's
draw a box.
Yeah.
I define the space of the barrier.
Yeah.
So if I
it's either
define the
box or
space
cone or
as
line,
but the problem is that I can't angle it in any way such that I catch all of us safely whilst like I can't put it in a circle around myself essentially, or put it in a circle around anyone. So I was just going to go disadvantage, but put it in circles around each individual person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It doesn't, because it's not like multiple spots. Yeah. It's just one.
But if I take the disadvantage to multi-cast it, is what I was looking at doing.
Because it has to be, and Great Moustache can probably correct me on this, because it has to be an area, I don't think you can have multi-target area effects.
Yeah.
Line can be zigzag, it's line segments.
So
that can be a thing, though.
Essentially, it is analogous, if you will, to the force wall ability in D&D. You are basically drawing a force field. Now, if you want to draw the force field in a square so that it encases an area, you can do that. If you want to draw it as a zigzag, you can do that. But it has to be a bunch of contiguous pieces.
It has to be a bunch. Okay.
And
I also don't think barrier is party friendly. To be where
it's not.
It's not. It's literally a force field.
It's a force field.
So it doesn't matter who tries to walk through it. The answer is no.
It's got a lot of options. It doesn't have to
hurt or hinder my foes. It doesn't have to be damaging. It can be obscuring, hindering, baneful, mobile. Like I can choose any bane, or it can just be damaging. And I that's what I was looking at. Blah. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna do it. Can I catch all of them with
line segments are 10 feet in length, 10 feet high.
Each line segment is one disadvantage.
So if, for example, you wanted to put a wall between Lucas and his adversary, you could do that, and that would cost you. That would put a 10-foot wall, a 10 by 10, 3 meter by 3 meter force field between Lucas and the Werkin. They'd have to go around the end to fight each other.
Right.
If you wanted to,
it's not necessarily impossible.
I was just going to say, now, if you wanted to lock the Werkin in a box, you could draw 4 segments, but you'd be at
4 segments.
4. And you have to declare, and the barrier has to be declared. You have to say where you're drawing your box or your line, your zigzag, your picket fence, whatever, before you make the roll.
Okay.
So the big advantage to barrier is doing things like sealing. Let's say you guys were all going to retreat down that handy alley right over there. As you guys retreat down, you drop the barrier behind you because it's maybe 15 feet, 2 segments, right?
Yeah.
You can also just make places that just like you can stand there, but it will hurt you.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to persistently damage the one who. There's one on Lucas. There's one on Chevalier.
Yeah, there's one on Lucas, one on Chevalier, and one that murdered Thuggius, and we'll be picking a target next round.
What?
Going for the one on Lucas.
All right.
Chevalier is a little less squishy physically.
That is a relative statement, but yes.
That is.
We're actually
Okay.
we're actually normally pretty even, but I've just buffed myself.
You're pretty even, but physically and literally.
Oops, Jamie
Oh.
just disappeared, and he's back.
Physically and literally, one of you is a bit more squishy.
So you're targeting the one I happen to be on top of right now.
No,
I was targeting the
I'm targeting the one on Lucas.
You bounced off
sorry.
the two, and you're laying flat on your back
Yep,
between
sorry.
them, staring up into the
Yep.
sky, and
Unless there's a reason I should target that one. And that's part of the reason why I'm also not targeting it, because Chevalier and the two of you are right next to each other.
Yeah.
And you've got Ramiki right next to you, whereas at the moment Lucas is by himself. So yeah, gonna do that.
I mean, he's got you.
I'm sorry?
He's got you.
Well, now he does.
As now.
He does now. So that's an explosion.
good time for that.
24.
All right, and so it's versus what?
Depends what you're using.
I'm using persistent damage.
sorry,
I've only got-
attribute.
Oh, entropy
Then
Okay,
toughness.
entropy.
versus toughness.
Okay, his target number, and the target number for the greater werekin. These are greater werekin, by the way. So the target number for the greater werekin is toughness 16.
16. Okay, so not quite a 10, but you know. So the Workin is now going to take 1d4 damage per round.
All right. So he immediately takes damage from the hit, and then 1d4 per round. Got it. So that was the one fighting Lucas. So that. So how? Okay.
Would you like me to roll a d4?
If you are you just making the if it's just a bane attack, I think it doesn't take damage until persistent kicks in.
That is correct. Yes.
Ah, right.
Damage. Okay, cool. So yes, so on his round, he will take 1d4 out of
Oh, right. I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, it's also because it's entropic. If when resisting, the greater Werekin has the ability to try and neutralize it with extraordinary or magical healing, you can get advantage.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a break now, folks, because we've been at this for almost an hour at this point, more than actually. So everyone gets a chance to refill their coffee mugs, etc. And then we will resume with the Werekin taking their next action. I do appreciate the folks at home and those watching on the VOD later on. Thank you. It's been a while since we've done a battle. We're all a little bit rusty, but I thought it was about time to dust off the sharp pointed dice and scare the group. So here we are. So yeah, we'll be right back after these commercial messages. Well, no, but you get the idea. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. A reminder to the group that you do have legend points. Legend points are an advantage when you need them. Okay.
Step 1, earn legend points. Step 2, remember to use them.
Yes.
Which I will forget immediately. I know you can get up to 10 though.
Yes.
But I will just have 10. It'll just sit there because I'll forget.
It's nice that it's on screen now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's great, but I still won't use them.
You got to collect the whole set.
I'm that person in every game, every RPG, computer RPG, that just collects all of the things because they're pretty and never remembers to use any of them in any battle and therefore never finishes the game and moves on to something else, and it's ADHD.
Hard.
This picture is me, and I don't want to be in it.
Yep.
All right, then.
Yep.
So, the Werkin. Let's start out with the one. Okay, so the chap who's been stunned by Chevalier. What's the roll he requires to break free there, Chevalier?
He can use his action to make the resist and just be a regular resist roll, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
You just roll a d20, and if you get
I don't think stun does anything.
Okay. D20 versus what?
No, it's just flat d20. You got to get a 10 plus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. 8. He remains stunned.
Yay!
Yes, something's going our way.
Oh, there's another thing coming your way just now. Lucas.
No!
So the one fighting Lucas takes a d4 damage.
Yes, and it explodes.
No, it does not.
The Werkin, not
Does
the
it
dice.
not?
Well,
Yes.
the dice may, but the Werkin does not. So it takes 2
Oh, if it takes enough, can it just narratively explode, please? Can that be the thing?
I'm just going to say, if you manage to do 20 points or more and one-shot the creature, then yes, I think I'll just declare that an explosion. Because just the idea of having Werkin bits raining down over everyone and splattering them with goo just sounds delightful to me. I think Alexandria I think Alexandria and Remiki would respond remarkably well to that moment.
I think, yes. If that happens, Chantel would find that really entertaining. Alexandria would hate it. So I feel like if the song happens to kill one of these Werkin, please explode.
All right.
Sandra's looking up the sky going, I don't know why, but I feel angry.
Hey, it's me.
So move action, resist roll if you can't do anything.
Stay mad.
As a stun. Very good.
Yeah. Important note, if it does succeed on that roll, it gets its actions back immediately.
Yeah.
So it's a beginning of action roll.
Yeah.
It's choosing to use its only action to resist, but if it succeeds, it gets all the actions it lost back.
Now the persistent damage effect, does it get it gets a resist on that, yes?
It can choose to again, it's choosing to take the action.
Yeah, okay. I think it's just I think at this point it hasn't taken enough damage for it to care, so I think it's just going to wail away on Lucas.
Yeah.
We're always wailing.
It's sort of, if it doesn't want to move or take a focus,
Yeah.
then it'll have the move action free. But if it
I
does,
think it's going to use its Savage Claws ability. So
No, it doesn't.
No.
No.
So that's 2d8 advantage 2.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Nah.
it's fine. You're a tough cookie.
Entropy versus toughness. Let's see how we go here.
I
Yeah.
take it back. What?
So that is
Yeah.
a 2, which is not a grand
Why is it
start.
rolling entropy?
Oh, thank God.
They're magical creatures.
Yes.
Chevalier found out last round.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but-
the high number is a 7.
Entropy, though.
So the high number
High
is
number's-
7.
Yes.
And that's so it rolled a 9 against your toughness. So what you're going to see is as this thing lashes out at you, and it's this whirl, almost Tasmanian devil effect, where the creature actually blurs, and it's like 8 attacks that happen in just a fraction of a moment, and every one of them you can see this Vesperous purple-green miasma streaming away from its claws as it slams away at your armor. It's gouging your armor and battering you around, but it's unable to do damage.
Okay.
Can I ask,
You go first.
did Remiki take a turn?
No, she is looking awfully glassy-eyed and sitting there, saddle shaking her head. She'll act this round.
Oh,
Lazy.
1 sec, there's a werekin to go.
Just quickly, when the werekin attacked me, and it was like, this is clearly a magically fueled attack, was it the same thing with like the
No, it looked
miasmic?
completely different. It was
So that was like magically empowered strength. This is actually magic.
yes.
Rude. Okay. My defense drones can only defend against one type of damage.
Whoopsie.
I made my choice.
So it rolls a 10, which is exactly not enough to really be clued in about the fact that it should be murdering someone in specific. So it's going to murder someone in general. And I'm just literally going to roll a d4 with a 1 being Lucas and go around the clockwise around the group. So that winds up being a 2. So it's actually going to leap towards Alexandri.
On the horse! No!
Yep.
Alexandria or the horse?
It's aiming for Alexandria. If it misses, it hits the horse. Both of those are a bad answer, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it can't miss her. She's really not very strong.
So
it's
as we pointed out, if it's a physical attack, it's +6 to her guard.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's using its
Or to your
ferocious
defense
sleep
score.
ability.
Sorry.
It's using its ferocious sleep ability, which basically gives it 15 additional feet of movement. And that gives it advantage too. So
Is that a physical or
it is
magical
a physical attack.
action?
It is a physical
Okay,
attack
thank you.
that is magically powered, for lack of a better. So it is might versus guard.
Okay, thank you.
Does it have the room to make a 15-foot leap? Michelle?
Well, yes, because it also has 40 feet of movement. So it charges.
I thought it was 10 feet away.
Yes,
This one went off to.
Oh, this is the one that chased off
well, and
Thuggius.
even
Yeah.
that, what it does is it boosts its movement by another 15 feet. So as long as you're within 65 feet of this thing, the attack works.
Oh, okay. It doesn't need to like jump
No,
15.
no. The descriptor is ferocious leap, but it could be 2 feet away and it works the same.
I understand. Yeah.
So let's see.
Cool attack. I want one of those. How do I get that?
So that's a base of 8, and let's see how the D10 tumble. That's a 1.
Don't
That's
answer
not
the
very inspiring. That's a natural 10. Okay, so that was an 8 until it bumped. So we'll put that back to the 8. So that's an open end. Let's see how the other one goes. That's a 7. So we've got an 18. Let's see what happens to the exploding dice. That's another D10. Another explosion. And then so all total we're at 14 plus 20, 34.
So what is your guard with the 6?
With the 6, it's 20.
Okay.
So that's going to be
So that's 14 damage.
yes.
I'm going to interrupt that.
You don't-
Assuming that I can be within 15. We were all like with roughly 10 feet away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I'm using the defend action, reaction, whatever.
Mm-hmm. So what does it
interrupt
do?
action. So it means that I can basically make a roll with something that is an appropriate stat, and that as long as I can sort of narratively be effective at doing it, and essentially if I roll more than Alexandre's guard, my roll becomes her guard.
All right. So I'm going to ask you. Basically, what you're looking at is agility. Basically, you are attempting to dive into the way of this thing as it as it rockets towards her.
Or
Well, it's
protect.
might. It's like it's you pick which so I'm physically in the way. It's so using my shield.
Might is strength / slamminess. This is speed of reaction we are discussing. That is agility.
Sure, but I describe which one I'm using.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were telling me.
Yeah.
To pick.
Sorry, no.
I
Yeah.
misunderstood. Carry on.
But it's like if it was like a distance, I use protection because it's a magical shield. But it's like I'm physically getting in the way and putting my shield in,
Okay. Yeah.
or just catching its leg.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Got it.
I have the added bonus where if I also roll higher than it rolled, I will cause damage.
Okay. So your target numbers are 34.
Yeah, look,
Can be done.
I do have advantage on the roll though, so that's fun.
Every number over 20 is Gucci.
Yeah,
Bonus.
that okay. That'll do. So the D6s were 2 1s, a 6, and a 5.
Oh,
Advantage
okay.
over time.
Advantage
Is
yeah.
helpful. And the D20 was good. So we're going to see. It is already over 20.
All right.
Okay.
Where it's actually, I think it's actually at 30. No, it's not. That's numbers don't. Yes, they do.
11 plus the
Keep
D20.
rolling. 34.
Yay!
On the
Exactly 0. Really?
But that's your turn now, isn't it?
That is my major action for next turn. For my next turn.
So what that?
Right.
So her guard is essentially a 34 in this attack.
In this particular attack, yes.
So this thing slams into you, howling in fury at being thwarted of its tasty, tasty prey, just wailing and flailing at you. There are going to be literal, again, it's the claws on plate mail sound. There's going to be sparks shimmering off of it where its claws drag across the shield and across the your chest armor. But yeah, that's going to do absolutely nothing to either of you.
Because I've had to move to her, and so if at some point in that defend action I was next to Alexandre, should Alexandre wish, she can now just double check.
Oh, I can move.
You can move half your
I
speed
can move for half my speed. I can move
without
15
triggering
feet.
opportunity attacks and all the rest of that. And my half move didn't trigger opportunity attacks as well.
It was stunned anyway.
This is not that one.
All right.
15 feet.
Oh no, I see what you mean. Yes, no, yeah, that's a good point.
Where's Ramiki? The other direction.
Right.
Where I
Oh,
came
geez.
from.
Yes.
Where you came from.
So what?
The stunned Ramiki.
I was just going to say, so Ramiki is sitting and blinking in her saddle. There's a Werkin on the floor blinking, standing there beside her, blinking and swaying. And then there's a spider laying flat on his back, looking at a swaying Ramiki, a departing Chevalier, and a vaguely swayy Werkin.
That sounds about right.
I'm a run. I just don't know where.
I'm sure Lucas could use your help.
Lucas
Yeah.
probably. Am I going to just get in the way of Lucas though? Like, Lucas
you
doing
should
his
run
Lucas
right
thing.
over Werkin fighting him. Yeah, you absolutely should do that.
That sounds like that sounds, the way you're saying it sounds like it's a bad idea, It's funny how you say it like that. It sounds like it's a bad idea now that you've said it that way.
I hear what you're saying. It just sounds just like a lie.
I will ride the horse because I can ride horses. So then I am between Lucas and Ramiki.
So here's
Well,
the
it
catch:
just
is
pushes the horse and it just slides 15 feet.
there's a little bit of dressage happening.
No, just like perfectly. The horse. It's like if someone took a picture of the two of them and just like dragged it across the.
Oh, bad animation. Yes, got it.
Yeah. Just
I can do that with the magic of video. Guess we'll have it.
I don't know if horses work that way. But okay.
They do now.
Ball rollers deploy from under the hooves. And
Where did you find these
I'm
horses?
Who trains them?
Your favorite mate.
All right.
Anyway.
So that's the second Werkin, I believe. Oh no,
And Chevalier.
I was just gonna say. So, okay. So this one is technically after Alexandre. It may need to change its ID. Its mind next round. So we took the one that attacked Chevalier missed. Who haven't I take? There's the one that
So
attacked-
Lucas's one go.
Yeah, the one was stunned and failed its roll.
Right.
And one attacked Lucas and the other one attacked Alexandre.
Okay, so they're rolled.
So that's all three.
What I just thought.
Yeah,
All right. V has taken his action in the process of attempting
Yes.
to save Alexandri from Fanged Doom, which brings us to Spider, who can't help but notice that.
He can do other things.
Well, still get some stuff.
Hang on a second.
It's
Go.
his major action.
Yeah. Right, so you've got movement and stuff. That's right. Go ahead, V.
Yeah, so I interrupted during their turn.
Right.
And then in my turn, I don't get a major action because I used it to do the interrupt.
Right.
But I do... how does opportunity attacks work? Move from within your reach to not within your reach. Okay. I will circle the werekin slightly so that I am still within reach of the one I just moved away from.
Okay.
And it. So just keep within reach of the two of them now.
Mm-hmm.
And I sustain the resistance boon. So that's me.
Okay, very good. Bippity boppity boo. There we go. All right. So then it's Spider's turn.
Yeah. Remind me, making multiple attacks on the same target?
Needs a feat.
Oh, okay. So just not possible. Can I spot the ninja, the El Oni mask?
Mm-hmm.
Spider picks himself up, shakes off, looks up at the roof, shakes a fist. Stupid roof, and it's unsafe tiling.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to
Yeah, that's why you fell.
Yeah, obviously.
Workers' comp. So let's get you to do a perception roll, please, and at disadvantage 1, because let's just say that your perspective on the universe is somewhat limited right now. Something fangs and sky.
Yeah, that's still a 19.
That's still 19. A 19, I'm going to say that from where you're at, going, oh, not dead. Excellent. You over there? What about you? You can't see him.
Ah, damn. Okay, he's fallen somewhere else or not. And then, it's that thing, right, where I want to go after him, but I look around and I see Chevalier is now interposed himself next to Alexandri, and I'd have to leave a vacant Ramiki with one of these werekin, even though it seems dazed right now.
I'm still engaged with both of them. I reposition myself, so I'm kind of engaged with the two.
Yeah, but he could turn around and attack Ramiki.
It certainly could.
If I'm not there. And Spider values the job, I think. Can you read me the stunned Bane, Sam?
Sure. During the target's turn, they are limited to either a single major action, a single move action, or a single minor action. Effects that grant additional actions do not circumvent this unless they grant a free action. Note that a target expending its move action to resist this bane will receive the remainder of their usual actions if the resist roll succeeds, and then there's special rules if they're a boss.
Right, and it's disoriented. I'm going to ask that old question, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
How aware is this creature of me being behind it?
You landed on
You're actually at its feet. You're actually at its feet. So
yeah. I got up already.
All right, so you scramble to your feet. Now, it knows you're there. It's just punch drunk.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. But it is within melee attack range of an ally.
Yes.
In that case, I don't care whether it knows me that I'm there or not.
It could technically gut Ramiki next round. Absolutely, yes, that is correct.
I was thinking more of Chevalier, but thanks for reminding me of that. In that case,
yes.
Spider's going to pull out the long knife, the Bowie knife.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to hack at the thing. How does the focus thing work? I just get an advantage if I focus with my minor?
No, you
forgo everything.
It's you don't take a major, you don't take a minor, and you don't take a move. You do a focus action instead. And you can basically do a major action with advantage or charge, I think is the other option.
So as long as I'm not moving, I'm only doing an attack.
Yeah, but to play devil's
but I stood up.
No, but you also did do a perception check to see if you could see the guy.
Yeah,
That's true.
which is a minor.
That is a minor action. Okay, cool. So forget that. I still get advantage 2 on this one.
Next turn.
So let's go for broke.
Oh, yeah, and Great Moustache said you can't focus if you stand up.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Cool.
movement.
Cool. Well, it's an 18 on the D20, and my 2 highest are 5s, so 28.
Ooh, no.
Yes, 28, and it's what versus guard? Yes.
Oh yeah.
So it's
guard
guard is an
attack.
18. Hang on a second. No, wrong guy. Its guard is a 14. So
Nice. And it's already stunned.
Mm-hmm.
How alive is it looking?
Out of a scale of 1 to 40. Hang on a second.
Okay, 40 is a large number. It's not that.
I'm teasing. Hang on a second. This is the one that was fighting Lucas, and has the persistent.
This is the one that was focused fighting Chevalier and is stunned.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. It's actually looking awfully raggedy. It's taken a bit of a kicking.
Yeah, fair.
There's a dent in its forehead.
I'm going to apply persistent damage then.
All right. Sure.
And because that is a focus of the Bowie knife, I apply it at a power level higher.
Ooh.
Is what I remember Great Moustache telling me last time.
Mm-hmm.
+1 to the power level.
+1 to the power level. Let me look at persistent damage, because I think that does matter. Yeah, so it's 6 instead of 4, because I'm at 5. So
right,
1d8 damage per round. Yeah, so like I like try to find the guy, turn back, try to sort of put myself between it and Ramiki and just like hack at it and leave it with bleeding wounds.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Stupid doggy!
Does it also do lethal? Is that what you were doing?
Yes, it also takes 5 lethal damage.
All right. That's good to let me know. And that's brackets 5 lethal.
Because my strikes are lethal.
So it's taken lethal 5 so far. I have the strong suspicion it won't be doing any long-term resting up by the end of this battle anyway.
Probably not.
But we will keep track just for neatness sake. Very good. Lucas, your turn.
Okay. So, this barrage that this guy just did on me thoroughly reminds Lucas of a particular training session that he had where a similar barrage from a large automaton happened against him. So I'm going to do something very different with Lucas right now. I'm going to try and use the song to hit while swinging this sword.
All right.
So I'm going to use my might and my energy are all connected. So I'm going to try and use energy.
All right. Let's see it.
Whoop, whoop. What happens when things fall off the table?
You reroll.
You buy everyone a case of beer. Oh,
It never get to Canada, so I'm just going to say reroll.
I'm glad I did.
so where he orders it, right?
I'm glad I did because that one just exploded.
Stick.
Okay. 21.
21. All right.
What is energy against?
What are you doing?
I'm
Are you invoking a bane? What are you actually trying to do?
Okay, so essentially what I'm doing, I'm trying to listen to the song and trying to use it and attack with my sword, but infusing it with energy.
Yep.
So that as I hit, essentially, I don't know what, I'm hitting it with physical song.
I'm going to say you're actually going to wind up hitting its toughness then. Because so what was your total roll?
21.
21. All right. So that is a hit. What everyone is going to see is this moment where sort of time. I think Alexandri's getting used to this thing that happens when the song has a moment. Would like you to all pay attention where time gets gooey is the best way of explaining it.
Shut up! This is my song. Shut up.
I think Alexandri is going to hear a swell in the persistent orchestra that is always playing behind her. And unerringly, she's going to look over to see Lucas closing his eyes, the sword coming back, and absolutely just baseballing this creature. The difference is, for the briefest of moments, what you're going to see is sheet music spilling out behind the sword as it travels through its arc, and the blade has been completely been replaced by what looks to be pure energy. It is this scintillating, white, glowing blade. It is not metal. He's clutching the same hilt you usually see, and he hits this thing like a bloody pile driver. And it staggers from the blow. And that winds up, use 23, that's 5 points of damage. That left a mark. But it worked.
Great. Oh, yes. I think Lucas kind of is a little bit shocked. And then I'm just going to turn to Alexandria and just be like,
Like I'm just pointing at the Werkin that's not dead.
Great. And then I hold up my my shield again. Brilliant. Okay. Cool, that's my turn. Even though that wasn't a focus action, I'm going to just...
Stand there and blink. Yes, got it.
Yeah, stand there and blink and just be a little confused, shake my head, be like, what just happened?
Alexandria.
Cool.
I mean, Alexandria kind of... okay. Persistent action needs sustaining, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Persistent damage requires sustaining.
I don't know.
Does
It's
it?
not. It's automatic.
Hang on a second.
It's just a thing.
It's automatic? Fantastic. Then I would like to bolster Lucas.
All right.
What's that do?
It will give you advantage 1 on, I'm going to say, energy. So you can do that again.
Fun. Thank you.
I mean, I've got to make the roll first. So,
No,
what?
thinking of me.
2d6.
You're thinking of me. That's just math.
You're doing what I'm saying, sweetie. So, of course, I'm going to help you out with a... hang on. Big brain.
Really want Andre and Lucas just kind of be the kind of people who just say "sweetie" with a slight lisp. A sweetie. That's fine.
Come on, sweetie. That's 23. So, yes, you get advantage 1. You have a bolster on you right now.
So
if you use energy again.
So any energy
Right.
attack he uses, he gets advantage 1 on.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay. And that will bring us back to the top of the round.
Good.
How are we doing for time here? Not bad. Not awful. Okay. So the Werkin.
Did Ramiki do something?
Oh, right. My apologies. Yes, she was supposed to move on Alexandria's turn. She is going to...
Good times.
Yeah, so thank you for the reminder. I'm actually going to put her on the board. I've got her, what it is, I have her Alexandria and Ramiki, and I keep missing that hit, so I'm actually just going to put her on the board there with her own initiative. Ramiki, and I'll just say, I'll just arbitrarily init 7, just so it's more obvious. Because, yeah. Ramiki can't help but notice there's an awful lot of things with fangs. There's boiling ooey gooey stuff on the ground. There's an interdimensional doom portal frothing in the air. And she doesn't remember the last 5 to 6 seconds of her life. So this is all a little disconcerting. I think
dear.
I think the reasonable reaction under these circumstances is going to be realizing she's the only one on a very big horse. And she's going to set spur to the horse, back the truck up, as it were, about 10 feet away, so she's not, now the one closest to her is, those two are all stunned. So nothing's going to be able to take an attack of opportunity on her. She's going to back up 10 feet and flip the cloak back, pull out the hand crossbow, look around, and pot shot the one closest to Alexandria.
I thought she was going to run. Good on you.
I like to imagine this.
Welcome, sister.
The horse is large enough that it beeps when it walks backwards.
Now, the course is that she's really not very good at that hand crossbow. It's mostly so
Doesn't matter.
looks at her and says, "Oh, she's the sort of person who carries up a folded hand crossbow. Don't want to get into that." It's as much intimidation +1 as it is a crossbow. So with absolutely predictable results, that was a 4. So she's rolled a 12. The crossbow bolt goes doink off of one of the creatures. Like hits and just doink and falls to the ground, and it goes,
Use your magic. It's better.
I think there's going to be this puzzled, what magic?
Can't remember the last few seconds. Yes.
No, I'm much more concerned by the fact that she doesn't have any at all.
It's all
like-
show.
Let's see here.
She's a red-eyed ebon elf. Where's the magic?
Which we've been constantly told is like colloquially believed to mean magic. It was always stressed that it was never like guaranteed.
Alexandria has concerns.
So the weird thing. So the first thing that's going to happen is the one which is no longer engaged with. So there's.
They're both still engaged with.
No, there is. I was just going to say the one. So there is one which had attacked Alexandria and is now pile derived into Chevalier.
And then I moved, so it was still engaged with it and the one that I left.
Right.
So
I think it is going to actually act first. It's going to use its predator aura. It is entropy versus resolve. Basically, it throws its head back, spreads this massive pile of muscles of chest, claws gleaming, this Vesperous cloud dissipating from it. It snorts this green, purple miasma and howls in this absolutely blood-curdling sound. So what's going to happen is it's going to be entropy versus resolve, and it gets... it actually doesn't have advantage on this, so this is sort of it's just a blanket attack. However, it is an AoE. It has so it hits everybody in the neighborhood. So entropy.
That would be all of us, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Entropy
don't like that it's large enough to hit everyone, and doesn't get a disadvantage to do it. None of those things are pleasant, and I don't like it.
It's a D20 that it rolls a 6 on, so you're probably safe.
Okay.
We're okay.
That's
Explosion?
That's
a 10 all up so far.
So it's 10. So if unless your resolve is less than 10, you're safe.
All right.
We're okay. I'm okay.
17.
All right. So
15.
I think so. Yeah. The effect of this, if it hits you, is demoralized at 3 and fear at 5. So I think all of you are going to feel this ice water accumulating in your veins and be able to shake it off. I need to double check Ramiki.
Really disconcerting for Chevalier. It's like, oh, that's what that feels like.
Ooh.
Yeah, hers.
I don't want veins.
She's a delightfully stubborn little winch. So no, that is just like, really, bring more. Is her reaction to that.
Bring it.
The other two are going to use their actions to try. Hang on a second. One of them is stunned. So where can number 1 is? That's number 3's action. He's done. And then he's going to take a D8 persistent automatically, which is a 4. Oops, let me just put that on. Which brings him... He's looking absolutely shredded. And then he's...
Like ripped? Like hitting the gym?
He's barely standing on his feet. And then D20 to see if he gets to resist. He rolls a 10. So it is 10 plus to resist, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, he passed.
Yep. So that means he is going to get his action, and that is going to be his primary target was Chevalier. That is not a target he needs to deviate from in terms of the script. So he is going to use Tearing Fangs. D10 melee, advantage 2. And yeah, let's see what happens.
Every attack is a different name,
Yep.
and I'm not okay with it. Though I am imagining them shouting it out before they do it.
Absolutely. So that's an 18 to start with.
Tearing Fangs attack!
I think this might hit you.
That's a
18, pa. He'd have to roll other dice.
That's an
Oh no, he's doing just that.
and that's a 6. So his roll against you is a 26.
Well, fortunately for me, my guard has been improved since last time. You're not fighting the same Praetorian as before. I have invoked the legend. But it's not 26. It is 24.
It is 24. Okay, so you're going to take 3 points of damage, but it will not trigger its bans. It cannot trigger bans on that roll.
All right, minimal 3. That's
So,
a thing.
yeah. I mean, that would have been, yeah. So he didn't. That should, if that had been plus 10, that would have been lethal strike. So, and this thing
Don't like it.
leaps.
Oh.
This thing literally leaps at you, clamping it. It's doing what it doesn't realize that you're an automaton, so it clamps itself roughly where your throat ought to be, and it's shaking like mad. The problem is what's actually happening is it's going back and forth in Chevalier's stick.
Aw,
Sir,
that's kind of cute.
sir,
Wait, was this
sir,
the
could you
one?
not, sir?
Was it the stunned one? Because I
wouldn't have
also
needed-
gave it persistent damage.
Yes, it is taking.
Yeah, it took persistent damage. Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Took 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I missed that. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was meant to roll it.
no. And then the one fighting Lucas is going to take its D4 persistent,
Here we go.
and that is a 2.
Okay.
So it's starting to look substantially worse for wear. I think now, and it shouldn't be fighting Lucas is the point. So it's going to, as a minor action, make a learning check.
Why shouldn't it be fighting Lucas?
13. 13 is I don't have to roll the rest. It actually is going to go, wait a minute, wrong target. And it will...
You're not a small woman.
Yes. I cannot help but notice you don't look like what I was told to eat. Right then, so... it's going to whirl
Do with a photo? Yes.
And I'm just going to roll a d4. And that was a 4. So it is going to allow Lucas the attack of opportunity, and it is going to use Ferocious Leap aimed squarely at Alexandria.
Yeah, taking that. Who?
Oh,
Doesn't it have to
it-
go past like all of us to get to Alexandre?
Okay, so this is the point
Because she
where-
moved back after she got defended.
I moved between Lucas and Ramiki.
And
So I was just going to say, so it
Really?
sort of,
Okay.
it has narrative room to zigzag.
yeah,
It has narrative room to get around.
put
Yeah.
yourself in the middle of the working.
Not in the middle of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, you know,
Ramiki is the
He doesn't
person
think
at the back. Lucas was the person at the front, and you put yourself in the middle.
So, question.
yeah. Yeah.
Question with this: is it just a melee attack,
Yes,
or
it's just melee.
Yeah.
right? So I'm not using bolster.
Right.
Good.
You're just lashing at this thing with your sword as it tries to retreat.
Yeah, right.
Quick, Alexandra, get yourself to safety. That's not safety.
You know what's really funny? Chevalier pushed us this way. If you recall.
That was when I thought you were going to safety.
All right.
Michelle, I got 2 exploding 6s.
All right. So
That is a 32,
32, you're going to clean this thing's claw.
Wow.
and this triggers my feat.
All right. And what's the feat?
Heroic champion or inspiring champion.
Mm-hmm.
If I hit something and I get more than 10, people around me get temporary hit points.
What?
All right, so
Okay.
I was just going to say, so its guard is 14. You rolled a how much?
A 32.
32. Good grief. 32
I need to find the feat.
minus 14 is
I don't
18.
think it's temporary hit points. I think it's just hit points.
It's just hit points.
Oh, like it heals us. That's cool.
So this thing whirls around, leaps into the air, and there's this incredibly ugly splattering sound. Half of it lands back at Lucas's feet. The other half lands at Alexandri's feet.
Wow.
What level of the feat do you have?
All right, so it's a tier 1. If I roll for damaging attack, I exceed an enemy's defense by 10 or more. I can grant healing to my allies as outlined below. They've got to be within a range of 5 feet times my presence score, so within 20 feet, and you'll get 1d4 HP back.
So it's
I'm not
tier 1 is a
hurt.
single ally.
A single ally that can see the attack heals 1d4 HP.
I think the only person actually injured at this point
Only Chevalier.
is Chevalier, but that's still a D4 back.
Great.
Yeah.
Definitely Chevalier's coming back. And I want, can we flavor this?
I
The Edgewater, if I might say, damn. No, you go.
Maybe like pretty music and light and stuff. I want a light show.
yes,
Is that your flavor?
unfortunately, the pretty music is the loud splattering noise as entrails hits pavement.
Guitar riff, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Good job.
dog
How
gut.
much help?
It's strung with dog gut instead of cat gut, right?
Yeah.
So
It is
yeah,
now.
so yeah, roll that D4 and tell me what you get. Tell me what you give him.
Great. Let's do the D4. Do these explode too?
Everything.
Everything
Everything
explodes.
Everything
Explode.
explodes. If you try hard enough.
Jeez.
Well, that's 5 HP.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow.
5 out of 4. That's not bad.
I know, right?
What a job.
Yeah.
Boring as heck.
Yay. Never thought I'd use that feat. Hey.
Okay.
Okay.
So the one that. So I think that's. So that's the okay. So the one that was the one that was originally attacking Alexandria used its howl. The one that was attacking Lucas is now Splatterville, and the one that was attacking Chevalier, I believe, has not acted yet, or did it? No, I don't.
The
Think.
stunned one.
Yes, it used its action to unstun itself.
Well, that's just its move. It would still have an action and a minor
Yeah.
if it unstunned.
Yeah, it unstunned itself, so it actually owes you some teeth. Actually, yes, it grabbed you by the throat.
Wait, no, it did. It
Yes,
yeah,
it grabbed you by the
it did
throat.
it.
Yeah.
It grabbed and shook.
gave me the teeth that it owed.
Yes, exactly. Which brings us then. So that is the Werkin action, and that brings us to V.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess because I didn't have to use my defend, I just attacked the one that tried to bite me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't focus action because I'm sustaining stuff. So it's okay, but I get advantage for the battle trance.
Yep.
Which has been very helpful in producing sixes. Okay. That is 37 against
grief.
guard.
All right. Which one were you attacking? The
The one that I had previously stunned.
okay, the one that's trying to hang onto your throat. Got it. Okay, it's got a guard of 16, so that's 21 points of damage you're going to do to it. And I think that's an instant kill. Yes, it has 1 hit point left. So, It's just literally going to see. It's going to be the DC Comics spam up against the wall, and then and the outline will be in the brickwork.
This is a lot of squished working, like all up in Alexandri's grill. Just saying, like they are. It's just raining working right now.
Have you ever taken like a Hessian sack, filled it with like chunky soup, and just dropped it off a building?
No. Have you?
Can you imagine it?
Sam, I'm a psychologist.
I have to ask, first off, what is your chunky soup budget for the month? And secondly, why would you waste it on dropping it in a sack?
Who gave you the soup?
For the visual reference that I can use later in life.
Allowed you to have soup. I feel like this was a bad choice. No soup for Sam.
No,
this is what you get for living in Brisbane. This is what happens.
It wasn't the soup's the issue. It's giving me a Hessian sack was clearly the mistake.
There are so many other things you can put in a Hessian sack.
Also,
I feel like
really appreciate that everyone just immediately assumed this is something I've done. Like,
we all know you. It's been a year.
That sounds like something you would do. Yeah.
Science. All right. Anything else, V? Do you wish to apply a bane to the corpse?
Dead bane.
I'll incapacitate it.
Yeah, no, definitely is incapacitated.
I'll knock it down.
Yeah.
I'm still next to the other one anyway, so I'm just going to stay where I am.
Right, Spider.
I don't need to move closer to it.
It's been so long since we did combat that I forgot I have a magical weapon.
Ew. Oh, yeah.
And
Well, that thing you got.
so after that one hits the ground, with my Bowie knife still in its shoulder, I hold my hand out, and the cane attached to my pack splits open, and a sword flies into my hand.
Does it make that wah 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 wah?
And I'm gonna lunge at the one that Lucas has been whacking.
Sure.
That one's quite dead.
Check something, because something just occurred to me.
I think the one that Lucas has been whacking is very dead.
Yes, there's only one left. It is.
I missed that somehow.
The one that tried to attack Alexandre and then decided to
Die?
raw ickily, I guess is the way we can describe that.
I see. Oh.
I thought we only had 3.
There were
There were
3.
three.
Okay.
The only one that is left.
Now there's one.
And the only one that is left was the one that used its AoE Bane attack
Yeah.
this round.
Big howl.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
standing within arm's reach. It was the one that originally leapt towards Alexandre, but was stymied by Chevalier. So technically, its target is Chevalier for the next round.
I just realized I had been accidentally cheating on my last couple of attacks.
All
My
right.
skill specialization in agility does not apply to attacks. So I was getting I gave myself advantage 2 instead of 1. My bad.
It happens. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stress about that.
Dare you?
Not intentional. Well, with 2 of them dead and these 3 looking fine now, I'm gonna go start looking for that other guy in earnest.
Sure.
The Oni mask. I'm gonna and I will invoke my what is it? Observant feat.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to try and work out where this guy went.
Sure thing. It is literally going to be one of those looking around, and then wait a minute, completely turn around, and he's actually behind you. He's now on the roof you were on, hiking cross country that away. So in the chaos of the melee, he leapt the gap, the thing you couldn't do, and he's now beating a hasty retreat.
Oh,
It was low.
ouch. That's just ouch.
Another D8 pride damage.
That floor.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna invoke my proud floor, mutter under my breath, say, "You're not getting away that easy." And like a literal spider, I'm going to just walk up the wall on hands and toes, like fingers and toes.
I don't like you using literal in that sentence.
I meant it.
10
I
feet
know you did.
10 feet of movement to get to the wall, 15 feet of movement to get up onto the roof because of dressage facade, and that leaves you 5 feet of movement, which is going to leave you in chase range, but out of melee range.
Well, then, forget all the stuff with the sword. I think I'm going to get the crossbow out for one last shot. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try and... I'm gonna, and Banes with the resistance are just so tricky. I'm gonna go for what makes narrative sense. I'm gonna try and inflict the slowed Bane on him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, gonna try and catch him in the leg, in the buttock.
Yep.
Oh, if he has buttocks.
Where his buttock would be had he buttocks.
Yes.
If they possesseth buttocks.
If one were for to possess of buttocks, plural, I would hit one.
We are gathered here today. We are gathered here.
The dangers of dealing with folks who do King Lear as a hobby. Right.
Okay.
Marriage.
So I don't get lethal strike because he is not unaware of the attack, nor as my ally in melee, and I don't get advantage from agility skill specialization because that doesn't do that. But because I'm Bane attacking with slowed, which is the heavy crossbow specialty, I get one advantage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to double check. Okay. A 4, a 5, and a 17. For 26.
That is a hit.
For slowed, let me just check what that's against.
Is that Bane focus, or is that just 10 points as a Bane?
Oh no, this was not an attack. This was this was a Bane attack specifically. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to hit him for damage. I was trying to hit him.
Got it. Yeah.
Against guard, if it's agility.
Yep.
Yeah, that.
Yes. So yeah, you okay?
I don't know why I can't find
what
it
is
right
the
now.
effect? What is the effect of slowed?
Yes, here it is. Slowed. The afflicted target speed is reduced to half its current speed, rounded down to the nearest 5-foot increment.
That's what I thought. Okay, so he's now moved.
This applies to all movement that is physical: flight, walking, climbing. If the target's currently under a magical effect that increases speed, they cancel each other out.
Okay, so he's now moved 20 instead of so yeah. So yes, you should be able to run him down next round.
That's the plan.
You're going to hear a I think the best phrase is inhuman reaction to being struck. It is not a cry that you would call any human. To quote a particular movie, that's not a sound made by human vocal cords.
Yeah.
It was a flaw to go after him on yourself, right? That you figured that?
Yeah.
Got the
what I was doing.
that legend point? You got
Yeah, give me that.
this, you might need it.
Yep.
I mean, if my pride gets me into trouble here, that's fine, because, yeah, I yell down to the group.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah, don't worry, I got that. That's literally what I was going to say.
Have we seen the Oni Mask? Were we any of us able to see it?
No bloody idea what
Yeah.
he's off about.
Oh,
No, we don't know where he's
that's
gone
a
or
good point.
why.
No, I would.
What is this?
Yeah, I say something along those lines. What would it be? Sorry, my brain's a bit fried. It's 2 a.m. I'm chasing down the summoner.
Summoner, says everyone.
No context. What?
No context.
I see. No context.
I love it.
Lucas.
Jasper falls from the sky, stabs a wolf, climbs back up, and shouts at us.
And then is gone.
I'm sure this makes sense. In
Meanwhile,
the story.
Alexandru still doesn't know if she did this.
Is this my fault?
Did I do this whole time? Are they just really bad at like just acknowledging my motherhood over them? Like, what's the deal? What's going on here?
I mean, there was a voice that gave them commands. Unless that voice is future you. Oh.
Don't give him ideas.
Damn.
Things do.
Great. I'm going to use the lovely little gift that Alexandria gave him in order to tap into that song and go and whatever that howling wolf is. I'm just gonna. Anyway, let's see what happens. Advantage 1.
Yep.
So if you already have advantage on something else, then you get advantage 2.
Right, so the Howling Wolf will attempt to defend with a trombone.
I love that because it would stop most people. That would, in fact, inflict disadvantage.
That is a 19 to hit.
Okay, and you are targeting... Oh, yeah, okay, that's a hit. Yeah, 19 versus guard of 14, so that is 5, so you're going to do 5 points of damage.
Yay! Great!
Yep, and again, it's the same visual imagery of the blade basically literally engulfing itself with energy. There's the the sheet music unrolling behind the strike.
Brilliant.
Sam and Jamie have just gone. Oh, they are back! Yay!
Got this.
I'm great.
This for a year.
With that, With that, I think Lucas is going to shout. It's like, I repeated it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the exact same stanza. You'll
get used to that.
Brings us to Alexandri.
Oh, it's me.
It is, in fact, you.
Oh. This did not expect this to happen. Strangely, I was caught off guard.
Someone told me we would have a third round of combat.
That's kind of where I'm at. I was just enjoying the story. I would like to persistently damage it again. Different one. That one now.
Yep.
Yes.
You're going to zot it.
I'm going to zot it with my... Oh, wrong dice. With my damage. 16.
All right. 16 versus...
It's toughness.
Toughness. Its toughness is a 16.
Oh, so it takes 3 because
it takes 3 points of damage, but it
takes 3 points.
But that's not going to be enough to inflict the bane.
No.
So
no. Oh no.
You have to do at least 5.
Oh.
You have to beat the roll by 5.
Does it go off at all then?
Well, were you doing a bane attack or just a regular attack?
You're doing...
I was using a spell attack, which
so
I don't know
here's the
how that
thing.
works.
If the intention is to do damage plus inflict a bane, then it does 3, but you need to have rolled 5 or higher to have gotten the bane. If all you're trying to do is just zap it with the bane, all you need to do is roll its guard or higher, which you did.
I just wanted to hurt it. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your priority? Doing damage or inflicting the bane?
The damage, that is the important point
so
for me.
You've done 3 points of damage, but not enough to inflict the bane. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe 10 points of damage, not 5. Unless you...
Yeah.
Yeah, a bane. It always depends.
There's a feat
to inflict the bane.
Yeah, if you've got a bane specialty, then it's 5. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And that brings us to Ramiki, who is going to pot shot with her little hand crossbow, and she rolls an 18, which means she hits the thing, and a 4, which explodes. So she's at 22, and another 4, which explodes.
Whew.
And another 4, which explodes. So we are... okay, so she's rolled a 30 so far. 31 is her total roll. And just because I think it's cool, the horse is going to rear up, she's going to side saddle in this thing, and clack goes the little hand crossbow, and it goes, thunk. A 31 versus its guard is half its hit points in one shot.
Did you want to invoke a bane?
That's exactly what I think she's going to do. Hang on a second here. 31.
Is it alive?
31 minus 14 is going
Step
to do
one.
17 points of damage to it. That's enough to invoke a bane. And I think... now, hang on a second. That gets 17 plus 8. She damn near kills it. And I think just because it's tasty, she is going to inflict poison on it.
Oh.
So it is at... just double check. I need to verify that's a thing.
Persistent damage in the form of poison.
Yeah. Well, actually, what I was going to do, there's one which basically it's demoralized.
Yeah.
So I just
I think it's demoralized.
Well, no, the effect is demoralized, which is -1 to all actions. But effectively, it's because it's in so much pain from the poison on the tip of the bolt.
Sickened.
So I just-
Sickened is what you meant.
Sickened. There we go. I just need to double check what the availables for sickened are. If she can do
Entropy.
that with the hand crossbow.
It's just entropy.
Okay, she didn't use entropy as the attack, so it doesn't count. So I think in that case she's just going to inflict the D4 DOT. Okay, and that's PL1.
Is Alexandria within range of that weapon?
Okay, range defined. How do you define range?
Oh, actually, no. It can get anywhere. Never mind. It'll just jump at me.
Yes.
Never mind. I'll stay right here.
Yeah, well, and it's also battling V currently.
Yes.
And then that brings us to where this irritated, petulant, fine, I'll do it myself. And then
what?
face,
Puts on a gauntlet.
and then a face from the past steps out of the portal. Long red hair, flashing green eyes, an intricate robe of purple with red and gold trim, muscled yet shapely legs, walks out and looks around and rests her eyes firmly on an Alexandri and says, "We have unfinished business, witch." And that's where we'll leave it for this week.
It's Genevieve.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why she has unfinished business with me.
Because you won the last fight.
I didn't win the last fight.
You also did kill a lot of people in that first fight, remember?
I killed one person, and then self-imposed stun for the rest of the battle.
So yeah, awkward moment time. Hello, blast from the past,
Well,
or
Oh my
past back
God,
blast,
yeah.
whichever you prefer.
Where, relative to us, is she?
Stepping out of the portal about 10 feet away.
mm-hmm.
Now, do you?
Cool.
I was just going to say, do you folks want me to have a battle map prepared for next round, or are you guys okay with the abstractness of Handwavium?
All I need to know is how far I am from people. I don't really need to know where I am
Yeah,
Yeah.
relative to people.
like if
Middle of a pack of werkin. It's whatever.
Yeah, like I say, if folks would much prefer a little map to show the local streets and alleys and things like that, I'm happy to build one.
Yeah, please. I think it'd be great to have a visual image for people.
All right, sure.
Um,
Okay, I'll
what-
have that done for next week. That's fine. And I'll do up the fancy artwork where the portal is and all the rest of it too. So yeah, I hope you have fun. So happy birthday to us. She's back.
Yes.
Hey, we're amazing. Gonna die soon. Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
So good.
So thank you very much, all. For those of you watching on the VOD, thank you as well. Hope you're having fun along for the ride. But yeah, it's coming up on that time. We really don't have enough time to wedge a round of combat in, and I hate leaving out halfway through a round. That just is awkward. So I think we'll wrap it there. And yeah, next week, if possible, I would prefer to run a little long versus a little short. So that we can basically get that we get, you know, if we're teetering on the on wrapping it up in one day, in one round of one session, then I would like to do that. So everyone, make sure you've taken your vitamin pills and had a nap. And yeah. All right. So yeah, take care of yourselves. And it's time to say goodbye. Let's start with Chantal.
Oh, I was just writing the thing so I'd have the time zones. That's good. I am Chantal B. You can find me at Chantal B on Twitter. You can find me touting the excitement that is going to be Omens Rising, which is a game that I have been writing with some really amazing people that is getting close to launching, and I'm really excited. Anyway, that's on its way. It's like on the edge. On not this Monday coming, next Monday, we will be playing Castle Falkenstein at the Falkenstein Affair again in sexy cosplay, because how else? Over on action_fiction at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm moving house, so like next time you hear me, I might sound a little echoey, but I'm working on it.
Very cool.
I'm not right now because I haven't moved, but I'm on my way.
Very cool. All right.
Nothing will visually change for you, but
Jamie.
That's me. I'm Jamie Collette. Find me on Twitter at Muffin Manifesto or on my website jamie-collette.com. Also, I urge you to check out streamedshakespeare.com, which I recently directed Richard III for. It's like $2.50 American to watch a whole play that we produced online. Drew was in it. It was good fun times. Also, check out the Streamed Shakespeare Facebook page. They're currently doing a weekly series of sketches where Shakespeare interviews his own characters, and you might see a familiar face tomorrow.
Which one?
Not one that you know. No, mine.
Oh,
I will be appearing as Macbeth.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah. All right, Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at @the_realsammyp. I do voice acting and performing. I don't have anything. Some of the things that I'd previously worked on aren't released yet, so I'm not really
Gotcha.
talking about them. I do have a new thing that's kind of in the works, but we'll talk about that once it's actually
A thing.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drew.
Hi and bye. I'm Drew. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DrewWilson. I will be here next week, but also randomly, I'm doing a play because I am an actor and a puppeteer and I do a bunch of other stuff, but they're streaming this play on Thursday. Now, I don't know the exact time that makes sense to a lot of people. So Australian Eastern Standard Time, is that it? It's 12:30. So it is being streamed here. So if there's a conversion for that for other places, but that's Thursday the 10th, I believe.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be fun. I've got lots of mad characters.
Oh, neat. Are you puppeting, or are you puppeting, or are you acting, or both?
Yeah, I do both. So there's puppetry in it. It's called Urza and the Song in the Dark. I should give more context. Hey, other than I'm doing a show.
Give us a link. Do you have a link?
I do.
Because it'll be Friday around midday.
Okay.
12 p.m. is about 8 p.m. Eastern from memory.
Look, I don't think.
Grab a link, chuck it in Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to get it.
It'll depend if you would. Is when you does your time have daylight savings included?
Yes. Yeah. That would be daylight savings because I live on Eastern time at the moment. So.
All right. And of course, I'm Michel Valcourt. You can catch up with me at MichelV69 on Twitter. If you're interested in the stat blocks for the thugs and the werekin, I'm going to be posting those on the Lanogiianes homepage, as well as on my Discord channel for folks who are interested in discussing Open Legends critter design. I'm finding it terribly fascinating, so that's probably going to also be the subject of a blog post coming up soon. Stay tuned for that. You can catch up with me, of course, at Michel at michelhervaincourt.com, Michel at michelhervaincourt.com. It just doesn't sound right in English, but you just get used to it. There's an awful lot of people I know, including my sister, who call me Michael, which is also equally jarring at this point.
Yeah, that is weird.
But
I mean, it makes sense. It's just weird.
Yeah, no. So, where the city I grew up in, Halifax, is very is very much a British North America city. And so, back in the 70s, a boy named Michel just wasn't going to work. So I was Michael for a very long time, but my sister just got used to calling me that. So it's very interesting. I can tell how people know me by if they use Michael or Michelle. So yeah, but it still sounds really awkward. So yeah, that's us for this week. Thank you very much for joining us. If there's anything you're curious about, please send us comments, questions, suggestions, all the other good stuff here at Lost Worlds Archive. We do have a Gmail. Could you pop that in the chat so everyone knows what it is if they want to get a hold of us? And obviously enough, feel free to yak at us on Twitter. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We will see you in a week's time. And yes, as Sam has identified, it's a face from the past, Genevieve Malfrey, who has returned from wherever it was she went after that drubbing at the barn. So we'll see what happens next week. All the best, folks. Bye-bye.